I'm Ed Donahue. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says the focus is still on inflation, but it's in check enough to cut a key interest rate again. Powell describes inflation as elevated. What will happen in 2025?
We're going to be looking for further progress on inflation, as well as continued strength in the labor market. And as long as the economy and the labor market are solid, we can be cautious about as we consider further cuts.
It's an indication there may be fewer rate cuts next year. Stocks finish sharply lower. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is backing away from a giant recall of nearly 50 million airbag inflators and will investigate further after questions were raised about whether all the inflators are defective. In January, NHTSA said inflators made by ARC Automotive are defective, dangerous, and should be recalled. The Supreme Court says it will hear arguments next month over the constitutionality of a federal law that could ban TikTok in the U.S. if its Chinese parent company doesn't sell it. The deadline to sell is January 19th. The arguments will be heard January 10th. The Senate gave final approval to a defense bill. It will mean a pay raise for troops and boosts military spending to deal with China's growing power. This is Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Congress has passed the NDAA on a bipartisan basis for over 6 straight decades, and this year will be no different. Many feared that it would, given the polarization, given the late date. But no, we're passing the NDAA, and that's a very good thing.
The bill includes stripping coverage of transgender medical treatments for children of military members. A Manhattan resident pleaded guilty to helping establish a secret police station in New York City on behalf of the Chinese government. The House passed a bill requiring more oversight of youth residential treatment facilities, a feat for hotel heiress Paris Hilton, who has spent years lobbying lawmakers. This is AP News. Scholars are hailing the discovery of a fossilized mastodon jaw.
Discovered by a man who spotted 2 giant teeth while gardening at his upstate New York home. Officials from the New York State Museum say a well-preserved jaw of an adult mastodon, as well as a piece of a toe bone and a rib fragment, were found in late September in a backyard near Scotchtown, about 70 miles northwest of New York City. The museum's curator of Ice Age animals says at first the homeowner thought they were baseballs. Mastodons lived in North America until around 10,500 years ago. They are a distant cousin of the elephant, stood around 10 feet tall, and had twisty trunks. Julie Walker, New York.
Montana's Supreme Court upheld a climate ruling that said the state was violating the constitutional right to a clean environment by permitting oil, gas, and coal projects without regard for global warming. I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawamian greetings to Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news from a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning, Marianas.
It's 7:14 in the morning. It is Thursday, December 19th, and it is a beautiful day out here in Saipan. Look at traffic just moving around just fine. That is Beach Road in Oleai. And that same guy over there in the bottom left screen, I see him walking that route every day. It's a true story. It's one of the little-known trivia facts, I guess, that we'll have for the show. Well, good morning, everybody. Hey, we got a great day lined up for you, and we're going to tell you all about it. But want to get you all set up. We'll get you started off with giving you a heads up about what's going on with traffic today, because you're going to probably end up trying to go somewhere. So we might as well let you know how easy of a trip that's going to be. So let's get you down there to the rest of the roads out here in Saipan. Let us take a look at a perennial place of traffic over there in Aslito, Dandan area. And holy smokes, it's 7:14. It looks great where CMG meets CMM over there, coming back and forth by the airport. Maybe not so much. But let's look a bit over by the college. There's a little bit of a backup as people are making their way up the hill to the light. Still not so. Oh, look at that. Cleared up just like that. All we have to do is zoom out a little bit. Looks like the light must have just turned green. Things are going great today. Over there by the I-T&E intersection, where connections matter the most, it looks like if you're coming from Beach Road coming up to that light, it's going to trick you back a little bit past the I-T&E Plaza, but you're going to be just fine. How about over at the old AK? Well, it's going to be slow there pretty much any time of day, wherever you go. And it's because that lane is one lane left, one lane right. At least they got that part fixed. But still, you can never guarantee that you're going to be able to get through there easily. It's a kind of a mess, but progress. Anyway, here we go. Let's take a look over in Chalmpio. Chalmpio is starting to slow down a little bit over there by Hopwood. Pick up and drop off, forget it. And anybody who's trying to move north, south, or west, you're going to be going a little bit, north, south. If you're trying to go west over there, it's not going to happen. But if you're trying to go east, it's not too bad until you get to Texas Road, and probably that's going to be people trying to get their kids over there to WSR and put you over there in the Empanada district, where no matter what traffic is doing, the food is going to be great over at Terry's and over at Galaxy. You can't beat it. If you want the empanada to make you happy, that's the way to go. All right, well, things still looking okay over there. Let's go take a look real quick over there. Ooh, man, things looking slow over there in McDonald's land. Everybody's loving it so much that they want to get there, but probably, it's probably just a school bus. All right, let's head up over by, it's a little bit slow through Gualarai actually right now by Jay's. There's always somebody trying to take a left over there. And actually, speaking of Gualarai, over there at Paradise Dental, everybody's over there trying to get their new dental program for only $4 per paycheck, $5 per paycheck for a couple, or $6 per paycheck for the whole family. That's why it's slowing down over there by Paradise Dental on Middle Road. Give them a call, 234-4040. That was pretty smooth, huh? I know. All right, let's check out the tennis courts over there by Navy Hill. And it looks like it's a little bit slow by CHC. Traffic starting to build up. People trying to get down the hill and off to the rest of Saipan. Not too bad, but it is slowing down if you're coming south and coming north. Definitely, you can tell that that's where the light is right now. All right, over at the base at Issa Drive, not too bad either, as traffic is a little bit slow go in every direction. It's still in the yellow, so it's not too bad, my fellow. And let's take a look along Issa Drive, the back road, not too shabby. Things are going a little bit slow over there by Babetna, but that's probably school bus related too. Other than that, things are looking great. You're still lucky because you live on the island of Saipan, where people say, no, we can't. We say, yes, we can. All right. That might be a little bit too heavy. Hey, I was going around looking at all the traffic. I didn't even show you what the screen looks like. But that's the real quick look over there by the tennis courts, by Navy Hill and Micro Beach Road. And we're going to scroll down a little bit. I really thought I was taking you along for the ride with me. Dispensazo. We're all right. We're moving along. There's that thing I was telling you about by Jay's, where traffic's getting a little bit slow because there's always someone trying to take a turn over there. Paradise Dental, people slowing in there to go get their choppers white. By the way, it's $150 off their whitening kits right now. That's right. It used to be $249. Now it's only $99. It's only while supplies last. So give them a call, 234-4040. Over there in McDonaldsville, look at how slow traffic is. Just pull in there, get a coffee, and watch the world go by while you're enjoying a nice English McMuffin. That's right. Sausage, egg, and cheese is the way for me. It's not going to get you abs, but it'll make you happy in the morning. All right, here we go. This is the I-10E intersection that we were talking about so much. Slowing down a little bit as it's the eastbound traffic is slowing down all the way past the plaza and creeping toward Jim's Friendly Market. Yikes. AK intersection looking fantastic. And we're just going to zoom out again real quick. And there's Chell and PL. That's all the stuff that we were talking about. See that red, see that yellow, see that green. A lot less green than everything else, and that's why it's so slow. Just go hang out over there by Great Harvest, and you can't go wrong. Hey, Challen Kanoa Beach Hotel's right there. Get a room, relax, sleep off the morning, and see what you can do. Over there by Guangdong Hardware, it's a little bit slow in either direction, but this is how it works at this time in the morning, 7:19. Go over there by Food Stop. That's a problema, Food Stop. Nothing wrong over there, so we're going to keep on going and get you back over to where the CMM meets the CMG and everything looking hunky-dory. All right, folks, that is your first look at traffic here on Good Morning Marianas. And now we're going to start moving into some of the headlines. We already got you everything you need to know from the Associated Press, and we're happy to get that to you. And now we're going to move on with everything else in your day. So glad that you guys are here with us today. We're going to check you guys out in the comments and move right along. It is great. It is Thursday, and man, we're coming off of a nice win last night. That's right, the Blue Jays. Here, let me make sure I get this thing. I didn't really see how this works. There we go. The Blue Jays, my Blue Jays, ended up knocking off the Brewers last night. And it was not because I was doing anything great. I was busy falling asleep on second base. True story. I don't want to relive it, though. Oh my gosh. So stupid. So dumb. But that's all right. We'll move on. But you got to be careful. Like that second base, I swear to gosh. It's like somebody opened up an Airbnb and they got the most comfortable place. You could fall asleep just like that. And it happened last night. All right. True story. Pilling, my friend, great to see you, too. We're going to be talking about that today, too, about what happened in the Senate. I've got all that video all queued up for you guys, along with a new feature on the show of Today in History. Normally, we read it. Well, today we're going to get a little bit fancier. I'm going to show you something cooler. All right, so Peeling, great to see you this morning. Really fantastic. I'm so glad you're in the house. Connie, great to see you this morning. Thanks so much. Louisa, man, you are just the best. Great to see you and Chuck last night for sure. Mariano Iglesias, Mr. Getting Garapan Done one day at a time. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Vincent Raymond, great to see you this morning as well, my friend. Toba Castro, the Tint Man from Dan. Great to see you as well. All you guys over there. Clyde Narita, great to see you this morning. Wayne Pangolinan, you're watching too. You guys are over there on the Good Morning Marianas channel. Thanks for that. Don't forget to give us a peek over at the NMI News Service page. Even though that you're able to watch it on the Good Morning Marianas page, we really do the show. We put it on over there as well, but this is the big one where when we show off the sponsors, how many views that we get, this is the place that we've got it. And I'm able to see all the comments in real time over there too. We're also over there on YouTube. If you haven't already, subscribe to us, please. It's the same great products and everything like that, but check us out on our YouTube channel, please. We're trying to get that to 1,000 subscribers. That's what kicks in all the next level of cool stuff from YouTube. We're just not there yet. We're far away from it. We're way closer than when we first started this whole ordeal. But what really we're trying to do is get that to 1,000. Once we get to 1,000, it hits a whole different set of triggers in the algorithm. More people are going to be able to find us, and they're going to be able to find us a lot easier. So you got friends and family all around the states and all around the world. They'll be able to find us easier on YouTube. And so you subscribe to us there, and then hit that little bell so you'll get notified whenever we go live. Wherever you are, you're going to get your notification, and you'll be able to watch it everywhere. Like Tobot, what he likes to do, he puts it on his phone, and he casts it to his TV. So he's out there tinting the Marianas one vehicle at one office at a time, or home. He's got us ready to go. Anyway, that's what we got this morning for all of that. Hey, let's talk about weather today, because it is going to be amazing. You know, the last couple of days we were a little bit rainy, a little bit showery, and we still have a rip current in effect. Rip current statement in effect until 6 p.m. tonight, and that's nothing we could do about that. So just be careful when you're out there especially on east-facing exposures. But right now it's 83 degrees outside. We're looking at partly sunny skies, scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day, mostly cloudy. with a high near 86. And we've got winds out of the east 14 to 18 miles per hour, but gusts as high as 28 miles per hour. And I have felt them while driving around town, being blown around from side to side. Hey, MJ is over there on YouTube, says, hey, good morning, Marianas. Brad, can I give a shout out to my brother-in-law? Happy birthday to Jordan Cabrera. Jordan Cabrera, happy birthday. Thanks so much. Yes, absolutely. You guys can call and or give a shout out. Hey, and if you want to, that's something else you could do too. You can give a shout out yourself if you want. I'm happy to do it. I think it's great. I'll give a shout out to everybody, but our phone lines are open. You can call us every time during the show. The number is 670-789-2323. 670-789-2323. Give us that update. Give us that shout out. Let us know who you want to talk about, all that kind of stuff. And Clyde, seeing you in there reminded me of something. And, we posted it yesterday because we grabbed it from one of our friends. But if you guys have a death announcement or a funeral announcement and everything that you get, just send it to us and we'll put it up. It doesn't cost you anything. And we'll put it up there so everybody can know. We're doing a pretty good job, I think, of getting the word out to everybody with the NMI News Service. And this could just be one easy way for you to reach a lot of folks in the community. It's easy to share around. I know you could do it on WhatsApp, but this way it's going to pop up in other people's feeds too, so it'll get around. So that's one of the things that we want to do for you. Really, we saw Candid do it first, and I didn't even think about it. The guys at Candid, Troy Torres, man, I love him. He does a lot of great stuff, and this is one of the things that he did that I really love. And I just wouldn't have thought about it on my own. That's the whole thing about this. This is why we need your ideas and your suggestions and your criticisms too, because we don't have everything figured out all the time, but we definitely are going to change. We don't have everything. This is not how it's going to be forever. We're always going to keep evolving in this. So one of those things we want to do. Great idea that they're doing it over there. I want to do that for our community as well. Send us your funeral announcements, send us your death announcements. You want to do the death anniversaries, all that. If you have all that stuff, give it to us. We will post it. Again, it doesn't cost a nickel, nothing at all. So thanks to everyone for tuning in. Hey, Derek, again, great to see you. Vincent Raymond, I see you over there in YouTube land as well. Isabella, thanks so much for tuning in. Good morning to you. And again, if you guys want to give any shouts out or you want to tell us anything cool about what's going on, tell us something what's happening with you. Let us know. Give us a call, 789-2323. We're also starting a new feature. It's called Good Kids. It is called Good Kids. I mean, that's the easy way of putting it. But it's really, I'm proud of my kid. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this real quick so you hear from us first. Because we've seen a bunch of stuff going on. Well, we know that there's stories going around about some kids who fell in with the wrong crowd, but we know most of our kids are great kids, and we want to tell their stories too. Send us a message or take a quick video to tell us about how proud you are of your son or daughter, and we'll share your story right here on the NMI News Service in our new feature, I'm Proud of My Kid. We'll also play the video during our daily morning show, Good Morning Marianas, that airs right here on the NMI News Service. We live in a great place with a loving community. Help us share the real story of our islands, our families, and our children right here on the NMI News Service. So that's it. You can send us a video. You could give us a call. You could just send us a message with a picture of you and your kid that you're proud of, and we'll feature it here on the show, and then we'll even post it on our regular news feed. You'll be able to share it around. Everyone's going to see how proud you are of your kid, what they're doing out there in the CNMI, and it'll be something for you too to kind of brag a little bit about how much you love your kid and what a great job they're doing out there. So good stuff. Yeah, Derek, last night, man, Blue Jays had a great game. I did not have a great game, but I still am part of the team, so I guess I get a little bit of that. But really, man, what a team that we got. Playing Masters League Baseball. The boys played big. We took the lead 2-0 over the Brewers. And the Brewers, then, they're just good. They are just good. They started scoring runs, and they held the lead and held us off. We started creeping back. And I'll tell you what, as soon as their starting pitcher went down, that's when it really opened up for us. They changed the pitcher, they changed the catcher, and that's a pretty big change right there, right? I mean, that's the whole style of the game. Bam, just like that. And next thing you know, we start putting some runs up. We take advantage of a couple of miscues. And that field was definitely damp, to say the least. but at the beginning of it, it was just straight up wet, and it was drizzling the whole first part of the game. And so it made for a lot of throwing errors, made for a difficult time for the fielding all the way around. And when those Brewers were like slinging heat, when they were at the plate and sending grounders over there to J-Boy at third base, I mean, he was like, man, they are sending missiles. And, you know, the hard thing is that trying to judge it on that grass when it's wet, where's it going to go? Yeah, either way, everybody figured it out. We ended up winning all the way down to the end. Great pitching again from Kel Capileo. Man, just great stuff. Just great stuff all the way. Gus, it's so wild seeing you over there in Hawaii and saying aloha, but aloha, hapadays and lesa moamoi. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in so much. Great to see you. And thanks so much for your support by sharing us over on the all the pages that you manage. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. It really is wonderful and helps us really improve our footprint out here, where we're starting to get around. People are starting to get to know us that haven't already. And, cool thing is, we just hit 7,200 followers out of there from nowhere, so it's pretty great. We got shout out from Checkpoint International, the corporate dealer of paint. Great to see you. Thanks so much for getting in here. Myron Hoven, great to see you. Thanks so much. Mabuhay, great to see you too. Thanks so much for being in here this morning. Great to see you. All right, let's talk about some of the stuff that we've got today. We're going to give a phone call too. I want to get started with this. Speaking of baseball, want to give a phone call to somebody real quick. We told them we're going to get him. I'm like, can we get you on? Can we talk to you tomorrow? Because it would be great to do it. And so hold on. I think I already forwarded it, the contact info to my other phone. Here, let's do that. Let's make sure. All right. We're going to call him right now. He knows you were calling. I hope he's ready for it, though. We talked about it yesterday. Yep, I got him. Here we go. I know he's awake.
You have reached 67028.
Give it that extra second. Just because.
Please leave.
I don't know if you guys have called and it goes to voicemail early, but and then they answer while the message is going on. I know he's awake for sure. I'm going to try. I just messaged him. We're going to try one more time. Or maybe he woke up and went back to bed. You never know. If he doesn't answer, I'm just going to tell him to call back when he gets us.
You have reached 67028744313.
All right, well, he's living the good life right now. Hopefully I'll be able to get him. Maybe he's got something going on this morning. You know, it's the morning. He could have had that cup of coffee and been moving on to some of that real deal business stuff that you got to do. And he didn't bring his phone with him in the bathroom. Who knows? That might be it. But we'll get to him in a little bit. Hopefully he'll answer when we call him back next time. But it's all right. We're going to have a legend on the phone with us for sure. Oh, man. Was I able to find that song? Did I find it? Here, let's find out. See if I can play this in the background a little bit. See if this does creep up. It's perfect for this real quick story that we're going to tell you about.
Rice, baby.
Did you guys hear about this?
I'm saying rice, baby.
Rice, baby.
Come on, rice.
Yes, you could get some rice today.
That's right. Rice,
Check this out.
baby.
You're going to be able to, not today, this Saturday, December 21st, you're able to get rice, a sack of it, over at the Culverville Youth Center. It's limited to one 50-pound sack of rice per vehicle only. All you have to do is present your driver's license, and your license plate will be recorded to prevent duplication, so you only get one. So you can't get back in line with the same car. Can't do it. It's going to be a drive-through distribution, no walk-ins, no walk-ups, and though I think they should give you an extra sack. If you're walking up there, you could carry it. I think that they should go for that. Anyway, they've got a total of 2,000 sacks of rice, and they're going to give it out first come, first serve. You got to be in a car. You can't walk up, and it's one car, one sack. They're asked to start at the southwestbound lane of Culverville. All right, so they did not attach a map. I've got one, though. It says traffic flow is going to go all the way back to Chalma Martinez, back to the village of San Antonio. Motorists are advised to obey traffic laws and not obstruct businesses or driveways. You know that's not going to happen exactly. Department of Public Safety will be present at key locations to help direct the flow of traffic. So DPS is going to be there to make sure that you guys don't do bad things. But here's the thing. If you want more information about it, call the Office of Grants Management and State Clearinghouse, 664-9994. 664-9994. Somebody sent that to us. And we got confirmation of it this morning. I mean, we didn't get it from Grants Management. We just sent that up to the governor's office and said, hey, is this legit? Is this really you guys? So we got confirmation on it this morning. And per Epi, it is. So that is totally legit. Give them a call if you want more information on it. 664-9994. Is it Diamond G? I don't know. Is that, if you don't get it, is that it? If it's not Diamond G, it's not for me. I'll tell you what, I like Calrose rice. I'm not against it. I'm a fan. But I've started to like other types of rice. I think a little bit more. Well, first of all, any kind of red rice. Good for me. Brown rice, I know the kids don't like it. My kids are okay with it. They're fine. They're not scrapping. If they get brown rice, my kids are still going to eat it. But I like jasmine rice. That Thai jasmine rice is definitely my favorite rice so far. Have you tried quinoa? I know Manamcos don't love it, but I do. It's good stuff. Whenever my wife busts that out, I'm a fan. But yeah, that Thai jasmine rice, man, I don't know what it is. I just like it better. I mean, it's not as like sticky or clumpy, or there's just something about it. I just like it better. Yeah, Brad, I know you like that Thai rice. Okay, yeah, okay. Let's dial that one back. Let's dial that back. Anyway, so that's what's going on. You can get yourself a free sack of rice this weekend. When I get that flyer, I know it's out there, so I'll post it on the page for you. You can give the OGM, you can get more information about it, 664-9994. But basically, this Saturday, just look for the long line of cars and get in it. They're giving away 2,000 sacks of rice. All you need is a car and a driver's license, so they could check you off, so you can't come back and use it. Probably, I mean, if they're doing it on paper, then it's fine. But if they're doing it with a computer, maybe I don't think you'll be able to get by with that. Might be able to get a bonus sack if they're doing paper check. You never know. You never know. Anyway, I want to say good luck to my kids, by the way. They got some exams going on this morning. I love them so much, and I hope they do great on their exams. And then they just get to enjoy this long holiday break. I know your kids are getting ready for their holiday break, too. And it's going to be a great time to spend with friends and family. We got to have some good food tonight, and I can't wait for it. Man, wishing you guys all that. Oh, Vincent Raymond, you're asking, where is it, Capitol Hill? No, it's not Capitol Hill. That rice distribution is going to be in Kobler. They're going to do it over at the Youth Center, just like they did, I think, is that where they did the fans or something? But either way, for sure, it's going to be over in Culverville. Again, just look. It's going to be Culverville Youth Center. It's going to start at 8 o'clock. But it's a sack of rice. I bet people are lined up at like 5 in the morning. But they're just going to start handing them out at 8. What time do you think people are going to be lined up for that sack of rice? Hell yeah, man. I'll tell you what. You know where they need to be giving out free sacks of rice? Rhoda. They need to be giving out free sacks of rice in Rhoda. Now, this is not to complain about this. I understand. Don't take it as a complaint at all, please. Give those free sacks of rice out there in Rhoda. I mean, I know we need them, but they're paying $80 for a sack of rice in Rhoda. I mean, at least we have a fighting chance. You know, do a free rice distribution in Rhoda. You got 2,000 sacks, right? It's probably not cheap in Tinian either. But I'll give up my sack of rice if you could send it to Rhoda and distribute it over there. We get 2 because we have 2 cars. Give both of our sacks to Rhoda. Yep, all you got to do is pay for the shipping over there. That'd be pretty cool. And they'll do it, right? The government, they'll do it. Give my sacks to them. Yeah, I'll tell you, Vincent, Jasmine for me. Anyway, so that I think that's where you're going to be able to make the biggest splash if you're able to get that stuff over to Rhoda. Again, I don't have the flyer itself. I just have that message. It was a copy and paste that was sent to me. And I wanted to make sure that we got that out to you guys. So that's the deal right now. Oh, and we got some cool things going on. We got a great email yesterday from the USO. The USO is doing something tonight, and they're doing something on Saturday as well. Let me see if I can't just put them on the screen for you, because I want you to be able to see it. I'm also looking at my phone to see if that guy's popped back online yet, and he hasn't. But let's do the main with a share. And you know what? I could just open it up over here, can't I? Yes, I can, Brad. You can do anything. Hooray. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Even though I had that on tap. Here we go. Let's open this up. We got this email from the USO yesterday, and it's so great because when we went to Guam in February with Triple J, we went to the big road show that they had for for the military over at University of Guam, and it was awesome. I gotta tell you, it was the MWR event, and it was amazing. It was outstanding. And we were able to, here, let me open this up. Here, we'll show it in the folder. There we go. And then we're going to open this up. And it was amazing. There were so many people there. And if I go like this, will it show the other one? It will. How cool is that? All right, so let's share this over so you guys can see it, all right? This is exactly what we're looking at. This is happening today. It is the USO Coffee Connections Sleigh Bell Social. Now, there's 2 events. This one is happening tonight at 6:30. You can join the USO for the perfect blend of creativity and camaraderie as we build friendships and support each other in the military community. Now check out that QR code. If you're currently in the service, if you're currently a reservist, you're a retiree, you work for the military, you name it, click on that QR code and you can register for it. There's going to be an event tonight. I'm going to and all the information is going to be on that link as well. It's not a hyperlink though. I am going to send you more info. The other event that's happening is right here, and that's going to be this Saturday. It's the Holiday Jingle and Mingle brought to you by the USO. It's going to be from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., so it's going to be a nice little afternoon event this Saturday at the Army Reserve Center in Tonopah. You know where it is. It's where you can shop at the base here. It's open to all military service members, retirees, their dependents. Just bring your military ID when you check in at the event. Join us for a holiday cheer that comes to life with a merry theme spectacular. Enjoy festive fun like ornament making, cookie decorating, crafts, and much more, all designed to create joyful memories for the whole family. Now, this is great. We have so many reservists here. We have some National Guardsmen, and this is for you. It's also for retirees and their families and all that. Why is this great? Because it's the USO coming here to do an event. They do stuff in Guam all the time, but they are flying here now to do this. And this is not the only thing they're doing. They're going to be back again next week. They're going to be going to Tinian to do some cool things too. So check this out. They are going to be on our show tomorrow. We're so excited about it. Jadine and her team, we met them in February when we went down to Guam to do the big show over there with the MWR Quality of Life show. And we had a great time while we were down there. And then on top of that, we got to see them over at the big presentation that we gave over at Outback Steakhouse to all the folks. And what we were doing back then was telling about the great promo that happens if you're going to stay at the Surf Rider. What is it? I'll tell you. It's $149.99, and it gets you a stay over at the Surf Rider, which is a pretty good deal. But that also includes your rent-a-car from Hertz. Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah? It also includes breakfast for two over at Great Harvest. Smoking deal, right? So that's why we went over there, to tell everybody about it. And while we were there, we got to meet these guys, and it was so great to get an email from JD. And then we talked on the phone last night as well. Just so awesome that they're here in Saipan and that they're doing a USO event here. And then they're going to Tinian next week. We're going to hear more about it. She shared with me about something else they have coming up. I got to let her tell you about it. I don't know if she's able to talk about it yet, but it's super exciting, like a really massive event. But either way, that's what's happening. The one on the screen right now is happening on Saturday. So if you're in the service, if you're a reservist, you got your military ID, you're a retiree, they've got all kinds of stuff going on over at the Reserve Center on Saturday from 12 to 2. And then this one is happening tonight, same place. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm telling you, I love these guys. They are great. And I love that they're here in Saipan to do some stuff for us, because it's hard. I mean, they have all these resources. They do all these great things over there in Guam, but it's great that we have it here. So again, a little bit more info on the thing that's happening tonight. So it's also going to be at the Reserve Center. It's supposed to be like an intimate gathering, social gathering for dependent military spouses, and it's aimed to empower them by connecting to each other in their communities. They'll have a sip and paint, a party with mocktails, refreshments, meaningful connections, where we'll share information about how USO can support them and their families, including through our USO transition program. That's for tonight. And then again, the event that's happening on Saturday, it's more of a family program. It's going to feature games, crafts, and train rides, cookie decorating. Train rides? You had me at train rides. Cookie decorating, face painting, photo booth, a visit from Santa? No way, I'm there. Also, we'll have refreshments such as hot dogs, popcorn, snow cones for everyone to enjoy. They do ask that you register for it. And so here, let's give you the links real quick. I can put these in the comments before we move on to our next bit of stuff, because we do have some real heavier stuff to talk about today, some newsier stuff, let's put it that way. Here's for the Sleigh Bell Social. This is the link for what's happening tonight. I just popped that one in there. And now the next one I'm linking is what's happening on Saturday. So if you want to register for those events, if you want to go to those events, they want you to register for them. So just click on that, put in your information. I did it yesterday. It's really easy. So click on that. Or, what I'll do, do I still have it handy? I do. I'm going to put this on here again, just so you can snap the QR code. You can do it with your phone right now if you want. There. You click on that. You can register on that QR code right now. And I'm telling you, it's really easy. It's going to take you a minute, maybe 90 seconds if you got Monamco eyes like me. There you go. You ready? We're going to click that one off. I don't know if there's a one for the other one. Let's see. Well, whatever it is. That one's fine. We'll just leave it at that right now. Why can't I find the other one? All right. Oh, you know why? Because I clicked out of the other one. And that's the only one that was left open. All right. Problem solved. Mystery solved. All right. 7:47 in the morning. That is not just a plane anymore. That is what time we've got. We already gave you the 7 o'clock update for the Associated Press. So in about 13 minutes, we'll give you the next one. Let's see. No, Ben, he's still not there. Let me see. Let me check just to see if he's popped in over there. Really trying to get this legend on the phone with us. Let's try calling him again, just in case. We'll try him again later, but we're going to try giving him a call right now, just in case we can get him. Somebody go run over to Ben's house and knock on the door. Hey, they're calling you. All right. Hey, Sammy, thanks for tuning in. Great to see you this morning. Thank you. All right. Well, we might not be able to get him as we had hoped, but that's all right. We'll try him again because it's going to be worth it. He's worth it to us, and we want to get him on there. He's one of those connections that matter for us, for sure. All right, so let's get into some of the stuff that we got going on right now. A whole lot of happy, but let's get you guys started with. Let's see. Do I want to do the history thing today, or do I want to get right into the big topics of what's happening? That's going to be a big thing that we're talking about. But here's one. I don't know if you heard about this. At Vanuatu, there was a 7.3 magnitude quake in Vanuatu that happened yesterday. 14 folks are dead. Hundreds are injured. There are people who are still trapped in the rubble, and they are looking for them. And it was just, it was awful. I don't know if you've seen the photos and the videos, but a 7.3 is a massive earthquake. And we do have a report from the Associated Press on that.
And these are the AP International headlines. A powerful magnitude 7.3 earthquake has struck off the coast of South Pacific island Vanuatu, causing widespread destruction. Vanuatu media worker Dan Magari tells Australian network AUBC at least one building in Port Vila totally collapsed.
I saw multiple people with serious injuries there, some of them screaming in pain.
A senior Russian general, Igor Kirillov, has been killed by a bomb hidden in a scooter outside his Moscow apartment. The attack comes a day after Ukraine's security service leveled criminal charges against him. A Ukrainian official says the service carried out Tuesday's attack. Medics say an Israeli strike in the Gaza City neighborhood of Daraj killed at least 8 people from the same family, most of them women and children. Israeli bombardment and offences in Gaza, officials say, have killed more than 45,000 Palestinians over the past 14 months. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
All right, yeah, all that was accurate, but I really thought they were just going to stick with Vanuatu on there for that 1 minute update. So anyway, hey, what we'll do, let me tell you a little bit about this thing that NBA is doing. They are trying to really make our marathon something special this year. And so now they have signed a memorandum of understanding, what they call an MOU, with this company called Runnable. And Runnable, it's a run platform in South Korea to actively promote our Saipan 2025 marathon. They're going to do a creative marathon-themed tour with products that combine running and tourism. You know what? And that's even going to help the environment, right? Who needs gas? You just run everywhere. That's it. No, that's not how it works. But through their partnership, NBA with us, they're going to highlight to Korean runners the charm and natural beauty of the Marianas. And because we're only 4.5 hours away from Seoul, the initiative will position the Marianas as a premier running destination by leveraging collaborative efforts and unique offerings centered on Saipan Marathon, which is scheduled for March 8th next year. Pretty cool. They just did an official signing with our NBA managing director, Chris Conception. It's pretty cool. He's holding up a really cool sign that's all in Korean, except for Saipan Marathon. So I'm imagining it's pretty good. But anyway, we got a quote from him too. It says, this agreement provides an exceptional opportunity to blend Korea's rapidly growing running culture with the Marianas' stunning natural beauty, sports-ready infrastructure, and vibrant local culture. By collaborating with Runnable, we aim to position the Saipan Marathon as a must-attend sport event for Korean runners, delivering an unforgettable running experience in a tropical paradise. That is great stuff. So Chris Conception, he ended up signing this MOU with Runnable CEO Young-Ho Ryu. And during that ceremony, they shared their vision for what they want to do. Ryu gave us a quote. Also, it says, "We're thrilled to partner with the NBA to offer runners an unparalleled chance to explore the beauty and charm of the Marianas. Through this collaboration, we will continue to support the global running community by creating innovative content that integrates running with tourism and adventure. Runnable's association with the JTBC Seoul Marathon, one of the largest marathons in South Korea with over 40,000 runners this year, will prove beneficial for our event organizers and participants." Well, there we go. They're also going to offer people the opportunity to do a virtual run around Saipan. and that will help get people like more motivated to come over here, hopefully. It says additionally, Saipan Marathon inspired Run Trip tour products will launch on the Runnable app this month, providing a blend of fitness and adventure. Pretty cool. So at least they're doing stuff. I love it that they're doing sports, because when I was in a little bit better shape, which could have been yesterday, but when I was in a little bit better shape, I would literally start thinking about where I would want to go, and wherever I was going to go, do they have an event? Do they have a 5K, 10K, half marathon, so that I could go and do something while I'm there that's, not just looking at buildings or something, looking at traffic. So it's great because people who run, and there's a lot of them in our region, they are always looking for a new place to go and a new adventure to go to. And that's why it's so important, I think, for us to have a really great event here. And it looks like we got a good one, and got to get the word out when we have one. And so that's what they're out there doing. So props to NBA for getting out there and trying to find another venue. We haven't done this one before, but trying to get folks through this kind of app and this company. So more power to you. Looking forward to seeing how that turns out for us. I hope it turns out to be great. Arlene, great to see you this morning. Thanks for tuning in. Freddie, great to see you too. Hey man, did you see that that stuff about the USO coming to town? The USO's coming to town here, but they're going to be in Tinian next week as well. Tune in tomorrow morning to find more about what they're doing for Tinian, because they're going to be in our studio for the show tomorrow, and we're really excited to have them to hear all about what's going on with the USO. So that's going to be a real big deal for us tomorrow. I'm all excited about it. I couldn't be happier. Really, it's really exciting. All right, we are about 5 minutes away from getting you the update, and we're going to hit. I got some really big stuff for you, but I think might be a good idea to throw. Is this the time when we do it? It's only a minute and a half. Well, let's do this first. Let's do some birthdays today. And these are all just like people in history that you may have heard of. Oh my God, these are all people with birthdays today? Let's go to the most recent. It goes all the way down to like the 1400s and stuff like that. I'm like, how do we keep track of that stuff? Can you prove that? See if there's anyone I could see that from the most recent. I don't know any of these places. Oh, Wayne Gretzky's wife, Paulina. Oh, no, that's his daughter. Jesus, that's not his wife. Paulina Gretzky, an American-born Canadian actress. Yeah, that's Wayne Gretzky's daughter. She was born in 1988. Couple of soccer players. Alex Sanchez turns 36. Karim Benzema, he's 37. Let's see some of these other. This is a representative from Colorado, Lauren Boebert. She's definitely popular with some and not popular with others. It's her birthday today. Look at some of these other names. Who else looks familiar? Jake Gyllenhaal. He turns 44 today, and he is doing pretty well in life. So props to you, dude. Who else do we got? We're just going to scroll back a little bit. This guy, I have no idea who he is, but he's apparently a really good cricket player. He and I share a birth year. Ricky Ponting, he's an Australian cricket batsman, captain, coach, and broadcaster. Hey, we're broadcasters. Good for you, dude. But I can't tell you, I don't know a whole lot about what's going down in Cricket Town at all. Shine, great to see you. Hello and Merry Christmas. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Yeah, 88, Louisa. That's right. That's the year. Jake Plummer. No way. We're the same age. You got to be kidding. He was a Pro Bowl quarterback. He played for the Cardinals. He played a little bit everywhere because I remember he played for the Broncos as well. He ended up being in the Pro Bowl. From Boise, Idaho, Jake Plummer. It's his birthday today. Warren Sapp. He's older than me by a couple of years, but he's a Super Bowl champion, NFL Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time first-team All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Oakland Raiders, born in Orlando, Florida, 1972. Happy birthday to you. Alyssa Milano, what a crush I had on her when she was on Who's the Boss and I was just a kid. Oh, my God. It's her birthday today, too. And she's only 2 years older, so maybe you're saying there's a chance. Maybe not. All right. Who else is out there? This guy. People will probably know Richard Hammond, maybe. He does a whole lot of motor related stuff on BBC. And I guess I think that's just about it for birthdays. We're just going to go. Oh, no, Reggie White, too. This was Reggie White's birthday. So two of like the best defensive players of all time in the NFL were born on the same day. That's pretty cool. Of course, he was in the American College Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's a defensive end. He was a Super Bowl champion with the Packers. He's an 8-time first-team All-Pro, 13-time Pro Bowler, NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 87 and 98. Holy cow. I mean, 11 years apart, he was the Defensive Player of the Year. That's crazy. From Chattanooga, Tennessee. But one of his best quotables was talking about how people could turn a radio into a watch. That's a deep cut, but that was still pretty cool. Kevin McHale, basketball champ and legend, Hall of Famer. That's his birthday, too. All right. We're going to move on from that, and we'll get you ready. Just before we get you the AP update, I'm going to get you a little clip of what happened in this day in history.
December 19th, 1998. In Washington, Bill Clinton becomes the second American president to be impeached by the House of Representatives. The Republican-controlled House impeaches Democrat Clinton for perjury and obstruction of justice over the Monica Lewinsky scandal.
We must stop the politics of personal destruction.
The following February, Clinton is acquitted by the Republican-controlled Senate and finishes the rest of his term in office. 1777, an iconic chapter of the Revolutionary War. General George Washington leads his Continental Army of about 11,000 men to Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, to camp for the winter. 1843, Bah Humbug, Charles Dickens' novel A Christmas Carol, the tale of Ebenezer Scrooge, Tiny Tim, and the holiday spirit, is first published in Britain. 1972, Apollo 17 splashes down in the Pacific Ocean, bringing the last of America's manned missions to the moon to an end. In 1957, in New York, The Music Man, starring Robert Preston as Professor Harold Hill, opens on Broadway. Today in history, December 19th. Rita Foley, The Associated Press.
This Christmas, get the deal even Santa wouldn't be able to resist. Bring home a free smartwatch or other accessories from IT&E when you get a new phone in December. Plus, enjoy a huge discount on infinite data to keep you connected all year long. Dash in before the 22nd for the chance to win $2,000 in cash and weekly prizes. Visit ite.net for details. IT&E, connections that matter.
Tis the season for savings at AK Toyota. This season finale is here, and you can get up to $5,000 cash back on the all-new Toyota Tacoma, or get up to $2,000 cash back on your all-new Toyota Corolla. And you can use that cash any way you want, but you've got to act fast because these deals end on December 31st. Get pre-approved at aksaipan.com. Some conditions apply. Come to our new dealership on Middle Road in Puerto Rico for more details. AK Toyota, here for Saipan, here for life.
Where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence to build. Be the inspiration, they witness the proof. We do what we do by the rules in the book. Be a lottie where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence to build. Be the inspiration, they witness the proof. We do what we do by the rules in the book.
everything was as easy as 1, 2, 3, but now it's as easy as 4, 5, 6. That's because Paradise Dental has the CNMI's most affordable dental coverage starting at just $4 per paycheck. You heard that right. Just $4 per paycheck for singles, $5 per paycheck for couples, and just $6 per paycheck for family coverage. That'll include Tito, Jermaine, Janet, and LaToya too. Jamone! At Paradise Dental, I love the way they make me feel. So come on down to Paradise Dental today and start smiling back at the man in the mirror, or give them a call at 670-235-4040. That's 235-4040. Nobody can beat it.
AP News. I'm Ed Donahue. It all happened very quickly on Wall Street. The market started the day with gains, but ended with big losses. The Dow lost more than 1,100 points. The reason? Worries about lingering inflation after the Federal Reserve again cut its key interest rate. The AP's Sagar Magani has the story.
But signals fewer reductions next year than previously predicted. In September, the central bank predicted 4 more cuts next year. Now, just 2.
The slower pace of cuts for next year really reflects both the higher inflation readings we've had this year and the expectation that inflation will be higher.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell says central bankers believe they're closer to the neutral rate, one that neither spurs nor slows the economy, which would let them be more cautious about future cuts. At the same time, core inflation remains persistently above the Fed's 2% target. So why cut at all next year? Powell says the Fed projects the number coming down to 2.5%.
That'd be significant progress.
But the slower pace of cuts would mean consumers may not enjoy much lower rates next year for things like mortgages and auto loans. Sagar Magani, Washington.
President-elect Donald Trump is demanding Republicans renegotiate a spending bill days before a potential government shutdown, urging a showdown with Democrats. President-elect Trump's nominee for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is expected to face his first public questioning from senators January 14th. Some senators have questioned Hegseth's fitness for the role. The federal judge who presided over the seditious conspiracy case against Oath Keepers members say it would be frightening if the group's founder, Stuart Rhodes, is pardoned for orchestrating a violent plot at the Capitol after the 2020 election. This is AP News. An arrest in New York has a connection to China. Here's the AP's Julie Walker.
New Yorker Chen Jinping pleaded guilty in federal court to conspiracy to act as an agent of a foreign government for helping establish a secret Chinese police station located in a nondescript building in Chinatown. Prosecutors say Jinping helped the Chinese government locate pro-democracy activists and intimidate them to return home. In 2022, the FBI raided the station, which was operated as a local branch of China's Ministry of Public Security. China is believed to be operating secret police stations in countries around the globe, but the Justice Department has said the arrests in connection with the Manhattan one were the first of their kind. China denies the secret police stations. Julie Walker, New York.
The NFL has a record number of playoff clinches and bottom dwellers with 3 weeks to go. I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
All right. Well, you're looking down at traffic. That was your update from the Associated Press, and we are going to get you a real quick look at everything that's happening traffic-wise because, man, it is backing up out there. Let's take a look at what it looks like. You're seeing it right now for yourself, but this is what it looks like on our map of justice, if you will. That is right out in front of us, folks. This is people leading up to the old AK intersection where it looks like it's red over there. Well, it's very red because this is right in front of us. You are looking down. All this yellow on the road right here is exactly what's on your screen right now. And it stretches way past the gym, all the way past the school, and all the way down past the library. That's right, all the way back to Joe 10. Holy smokes, traffic is not beautiful today, but at least it's moving around. We're seeing it on the camera right now. People are able to move back and forth, and we're so close. They're paving, they're adding that non-skid layer, and I'll tell you what, driving on it last night after baseball, it was so smooth and quiet. Gotta love it. Over there in Chalumpiao, they are a ways away from getting as advanced as what we've got over here in right now. While it's awfully hazy over here, at least our traffic is moving. Over there in Chalumpiao, not the same. It is all clogged up in every direction. There's no hope. Just give up. Forget it. Park your car on the side of the road and just watch everybody zoom by and then get yourself to work. It's 8:08 right now. It's 8:08 time. It's Hawaii time here in Saipan, and that's what you're going to get. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look over at one of our least favorite intersections this time of day. It is Chalamonte Martinez. That's right, all the way backed up past Maddie's Barbecue. If you're trying to get down to Shell Dandan, it's going to be a while. In fact, stop over at Maddie's Barbecue, get yourself a barbecue stick to go so you can just chomp on that bad boy on your way to get to the intersection, because it's going to be a while. It's either that or a Snickers bar. Maddie's Barbecue sounds pretty good for me. All right, coming over there by the airport, it looks like it's traffic is backed up a little bit while people are trying to get to the light by the Iglesia Church, but there's nothing new there. Over in the Dandan San Vicente area where the roundabout used to be, folks over there in Dandan trying to get all the way up there. It's backed up to the Central Park over there in San Vicente, but again, that's nothing new, but because it's time to drop kids off to school. And if you are at San Vicente, your kid's probably late anyway. So take your time. There's no need to be in a hurry. We're just going to scan the back road real quick. Things looking pretty good all around Issa Drive, and even all the way down to where Issa Drive meets Middle Road. Not too bad. Where it is slow, though, people are all held up over there on Middle Road all the way between Shell and Island Apparel. That's probably school bus right there. That's normally how that works, because there is a school bus stop over there. Over on the Navy Hill intersection, not too bad. It's not too fast, but traffic is backed up all the way down to Marianas Creations. If you're coming from Garapan, if you're coming from Navy Hill, you're going to be backed up almost all the way to CHC, and then it's a little bit in either direction. All right, let's go scroll through. Gualariza spot. The old tire shop by Route 308. Is it's not that bad. It's actually not that bad. By where they had that Saipan Island restaurant. LJ's 2 Market. If you tell them you know LJ Castro, you will get no discount. True story. Let's go zip down all the way down to Subway. It looks like it's a little slow go heading north as you approach the light by Jay's. That happens with the bus stops, and it also happens because everyone's trying to go to Jay's in the morning. You might get lucky and be able to see Shine Tenorio in person, not just at baseball. All right, I-10E intersection looking okay. A little bit slow, but nothing too heavy. And then we'll take you all the way back to the AK intersection where things look pretty good. All right, folks. Well, that is your latest look at traffic at 8:11 this morning. Not too bad. Now we'll bring you back in the studio. Oh, look at that. Isn't that awesome? It is. It's pretty awesome. That's what we end up doing. Hey, if you want to sponsor the traffic report, you can, pal. Just reach out to us. I know we should be reaching out to you. I know there's only so much we can do, but we can make that your traffic report and have your logo on the screen with it the whole time and talk about how great you are while we do that. Just give us a call and we'll be happy to do that. Send us a message. We'll be happy to do that. Faux and show. All right. So let's get back into some of the other news that we got going on today. Today's National Hard Candy Day. It's also National Oatmeal Muffin Day, but who are you kidding? I'm more of a candy guy, probably. I like oatmeal muffins too, but those things are dry. Unless you have some serious coffee in you, it's not going to be all that great. You know what's really great though? People doing great things in our community, and people from our community who are going out and doing great things. Franklin Babalta Jr. today is an officer with the United States Army. How about that? Congratulations. He just got his new rank. He's now a second lieutenant. He is a butter bar. He got his BA, Bachelor of Administration, Business Administration, and now he is a second lieutenant. Way to go, Franklin Babalta Jr. His dad runs Homeland Security Emergency Management, and his mom is a senator here in Saipan. So there's a lot to be happy about in that family. Great job. He's a Mount Carmel grad, and he is doing great stuff. So congratulations. Even his dad, who's retired Lieutenant Colonel, donned the uniform and pinned the rank on. What a proud father you got to be. You've got to be a proud father if you retired from the military. Your son joins following in your footsteps and becomes an officer. That's pretty cool. Congratulations to the whole Babauta family. Congratulations to Franklin Babauta Jr. on getting your commission. And Shine's like, hey, where's the butter? Hey, I'll tell you, that's what they call it, the second lieutenant. It's like it's a gold-colored bar where a first lieutenant gets the silver bar. So they call it the butter bar. That's it. That's what we called it anyway. I don't know if they still do it, but that's how we called it back in the old Army days. By the way, Shine can hit and run out there. Let's see what's going on. I got some messages that just popped in. Okay, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. What happened? Oh, that is not great. One of our friends, she's going to be okay. We're going to reach out to her and see how she's doing. All right. We'll reach out to her for sure. Hey, we got that photo that we were talking about with for the free rice that's going on this Saturday. Here, let's pop that over there. This is what's going to be going on Saturday. And look at the way that traffic flow is going to go. It's going to be really crazy. It's going to start in San Antonio by Pocpoc Beach. Then it's going to curl around at the mobile station and zip around the back part on CMG. Then they're going to turn back down by Tototville, come back around by the basketball court where you go in, you get your sack of rice, and that's it. So that's what's going on. Oh, tonight, Luisa, it is Falcons and Dodgers. Falcons and Dodgers. Kyle made the announcement last night. It's one of the makeup games. So hopefully the Falcons can get in the win column by knocking off the Dodgers. Sorry, Tobot, and all the Dodgers fans and the Dodgers players. The Dodgers are just good. It's good for us if they get a loss. That's all I'm saying. There's no hate. There's no hate at all. I love those guys. They're really great. All right. So anyway, but that is that's the traffic flow map for what's going on with that rice distribution on Saturday. So there you go. Things happening, things moving, things grooving. All right. Now, we talked about that earthquake. We're not going to talk about the Ukraine stuff today. Although I'll tell you, that's a topic for a show one day, man. I can go all in. I can go ham on that story. But we're not going to muscle all that stuff in today. But I'll tell you what is interesting, that the story about what's going on with the Senate, with the budget, and the governor with regards to the restoring the hours, getting rid of the austerity hours and everything. You remember when that happened? So, Louisa says, announcer's right next to me, and I still missed the announcement. I know. You're busy up there. You're doing everything. You're doing everything up there. I totally get it. I was standing right on the field, and I missed the freaking play. I know. All right, so this is the thing that was going on in the Senate today. I've got it all queued up so you guys can watch it. Let me just try one more thing, just because we just mentioned baseball again. Let me just see if he's online. Let me just see if he popped online. I want an opportunity. Does it show that he's online yet? Because it was saying that he was online. We're going to try and call him. No, it says that he still hasn't been checking his WhatsApp anyway since 6:30. I hope he's all right. It seems like it's what we're doing all morning is trying to call this guy. Let's see if we can call him again. And we'll get back to the stuff with the Senate and the Gov. Yeah, why is this guy calling me? I know he doesn't recognize the number. But I did text him that this is the number it's going to call from. You see, take a look outside. Doesn't it look all hazy and stuff? I thought maybe it was just the other camera that we have out there. But no, it looks just hazy out there. Bum, bum, bum.
You have reached
no luck.
70.
You know, I got all excited. I was talking to him on the phone about it yesterday. Give him the heads up that we were going to call him. And he was all excited. We had a great conversation. It was awesome. It was just awesome. And I was so happy to get him on the show. I have no luck this morning. I did tell him 7:30. So we're just going to tease him when I see him. Not in a bad way. All right. Well, Let's talk about somebody who is trying to get some stuff done. You know, there's only a little bit of time left before the folks who were just elected in this previous election are going to be moving in and moving out. And one of the folks moving out is the current Senate president, Edith Del Guerrero. Now, she lost her race for the Saipan Senate seat to freshman lawmaker Manny Castro from Precinct 2, who's going to be the senator now from Saipan, to go along with Karina Magofnia and Selena Babauta. But right now they're looking at everything that happened when Governor Palacios issued the executive directive that restored the executive branch in place to 80 hours per pay period. And what they ended up doing, they brought in a fiscal analyst to talk about this. JJ. They brought in a fiscal analyst to review some of this stuff. And this was in the Senate yesterday. And I want to put this on there so you guys can give it a listen. It's not going to take too long. I went through a bunch of it. But instead of just reading the whole thing to you, I want you to hear what they were discussing about. It's not the only thing they talked about in the Senate session yesterday. Let me make sure I got my settings back to normal speed. I was listening to it at like double speed so I can hear it, and I had to skip past all the gaps and all that stuff. So let's give you this. This is what went down and how they were talking about this in the Senate yesterday. And it would be great if we're able to get something from the Gov's office later to tell us more about this stuff, shed some more light on it so we know more about what's going on. So again, this is from yesterday, the Senate session, where they talked about what are the rules with when it comes to dealing with the budget, and when you change the estimates and the revenue, and what we're able to do. So here's the straight up raw stuff that happened yesterday in our Senate.
Senator Jude Schneider.
Thank you, Madam President, and I appreciate the members' consideration to include this.
It's a little
first and foremost, I want to go on record to say that we support the restoration of 80 hours to the much deserving employees. However, we do have, we also understand that there are some steps that needs to be made, in which we are discussing today, and I thank the council for articulating on that.
Hey, I just paused it for a second. Just to say, apologize for that. You hear that little choppy stuff in the audio. That's not from us. That's just from the system that they've got over there at the legislature. So again, apologies for that little. You'll hear that staticky sound, but it's 100% not us. So now you know. All right, here you go.
I also see on publication that there is additional $8 million that was identified as a result of that. That's a statement made by the Secretary of Finance, and that gave rise to the decision to restore the full 80 hours. In addition to that, I think one of the things that we need clarification on, Madam Press and members, is in the Budget Act. Maybe the council can guide us what specific provision embedded in the Budget Act for FY 2025 that authorizes the restoration of 80 hours that in the middle of a fiscal year, if there's such funds that have been identified, aside and separate from what's being what's in the Planning and Budgeting Act of subsection 7604. So if it's okay, Madam President, before we recognize Mr. Dimapan, is there anything in the budget right now that says that if there's funds available that we can restore the 80 hours without amending the budget?
There's none in the budget that was passed by the legislature that authorizes that.
So
the budget is the limit. They can't spend more than that. So the additional 10 hours that they have increased, that's way beyond the appropriated budget.
Thank you, Council, and Madam President, I'll yield back. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Jude, and thank you, Council. I now give the floor to our fiscal analyst, Dave Dimapan, to be more prescriptive on the values of the restoration of the 80 hours and how it affects the existing passage or the law itself on fiscal 25 budget and subsequent expenditures, if any, of public funds that are beyond the approved ceiling of FY25 budget. Dave, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam President. I think I should point out first legally the specified section of the Budgeting Act of under Public Law 3-68, Section 201D, which really is the issue here, Madam President, where the restoration of the 80 hours by the governor effective November 3rd. Why? Because we're talking about excess funds, you know, that would have to be included in the budget in order to balance the budget to restore this 80 hours sum of monies that we need for FY 2025. We know the intent that it's good to pay the employees for their livelihood because right now everybody's suffering. But the issue here is this: do we have the financial resources, you know, to balance the budget, to incur this expenditure? Right now, if you look at Public Law 23-26, right, it only spells out that 70 hours per pay period for the employees. And that is the amount appropriated to cover for the expenses for these employees. But for the governor to implement, 80 hours per pay period without identifying the additional resources, you know, we're basically saying that the governor is incurring unauthorized expenditures, you know, that is not included in this Budgeting Act of FY 2025. And so when you look at Section 201D under Public Law 3-68, it states in this fashion: annual appropriation acts enacted or as amended, you know, shall not appropriate funds in excess of the total Commonwealth financial resources estimated. Okay, and if the estimated amount that is going to be appropriated is not there to meet, you know, to meet the expenditures, then we're not balancing the budget. So in this case, when this implementation of on November 3rd for restoration of the 80 hours, practically we are, the governor is recording unauthorized payroll expenses in the general fund that is not budgeted. So there are three options where you can validate this unbalanced budget. One is if the legislature, you know, approves additional taxation. Two, if the Commonwealth receives additional revenue. Or three, the governor may revise its estimated resources to anticipate the financial resources in excess on this estimated revenue. And therefore, those additional resources will be recognized by this body as a supplemental budget or to amend the House concurrent resolution. That's the option under that specific section of Section 201D of Public Law 3-68. Now, let me go into my analysis as requested by the Senate President. We know that during the course of the budget deliberation of FY 2025, the Senate had to talk about 6 actions, you know, that adjusted the executive branch allocation. So we would have to reinstate it back from the amount that it was allocated at 87.5% Okay, and then also we would also have to reinstate the 12.5% as a whole, the 10 hours that were actually reduced or deducted from the 80 hours on the payroll allocation in FY 2025. So the overall impact based on my analysis is approximately $4.8 million. If we were to reinstate the restoration beginning October 1st, 2024 for FY 2025. And that's my explanation there, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, for explaining your analysis. If you could briefly explain on your communication, it says a snapshot of the $14.8 million funding needs by programs. Just for clarification, the $14.8 million, that is the total of the restoration of the payroll hours. Is that correct? Okay, and within your communication on those bullet points, identifying certain values of $500,000 down to the very last bullet of 491,988 independent programs. Could you just clarify those bullet points exactly? What do that particular values, what do they mean with respect to in relation to the $14.8 million?
No microphone. I think he's walking over there to put his microphone on.
Then it would then come up to 80 hours, or 100% of the payroll for the employees. So the employees then will be paid per pay period, 80 hours instead of, 70 hours. And that's my explanation there. Same thing if you go down to the legislative branch, we're sharing the $211,182. Again, I had to restore back the 12.5%. That's the impact there, or 10 hours. So that's the impact for legislative branch of $211,182. We need that funding to get these employees paid 80 hours per pay period for the for the entire fiscal year. And the same explanation for the executive branch, which is showing $11.1 million, which is very huge because that's a combination of reinstating back the 87.5%, because at the time during the exercise at the Senate level, PSS would have to be paid a portion out of that 11.1, which received approximately 5.3 million some. And then the other activities that had to be reallocated, like for example, Saipan Mayor, Tinian Municipality, Saipan Solid Waste Management Division, OMB, and also the scholarship for the International Exchange Program. So that's the impact for the executive branch, approximately 11.1, including the 12% restoration together. So overall, then would be $11.1 million. Then as you go down the list, you can see from the analysis, Rota Municipality total impact, approximately $978,000. That again relates to 12.5% restoration or the 10 hours to get them back to 80 hours. And then to Tinian and Aguigan Municipality, we're looking at approximately $962,000. That is to restore back the 12.5% or 10 hours to get them back to 80 hours. Then third senatorial district, that's the Saipan Mayor, Northern Ireland Mayor, and the Saipan Municipal Council. We're talking about $400,000. Warren Commissions, $174, and then independent program, $491. That's it, Madam Chair. Yeah.
Members, you can chime in if you have any comments. If I would just say this off the top of my head right now. So, Dave, if you could just go on record and tell the public for this particular session, what was the approved ceiling of FY 2025?
Approximately $158.6 million.
All right. And what percentage is $14.8 million of that approved ceiling?
9%.
Madam Chair. Or
The only reason why I asked that question is because the statute clearly says that in the case of a $200,000 or 3% or more increase in revenues, that the governor shall transmit within 15 calendar days a special budget message to the legislature.
it's about 9%. 9%. Yeah.
Brad Math.
Thank you. Comments from the members?
Chair, just thank you, Dave, for.
Wait. Let's not just skip over how great my math was that fast. That's the importance of going to school. 9%, just like that. The other one is, so I don't know Mr. Dempon, but I know that the folks that are, this is the Senate's fiscal analyst. So they haven't mentioned that they got together with anybody else's financial experts or Department of Finance or with the governor's team. So he might not have access to the same information. You figure they would, right? You figure they would. So I'm curious, though, where this is going to go. But let's hear what Senator Jude's got to say about it.
Articulating on the, but do we know, or are you able to tell us which employees are affected? Are these is this something that you can, are you comfortable saying that this analysis that you just put forth is what is being, this is the net effect of what was restored after the budget?
Yes, I think we have to be very specific here about which employees are affected. In some cases, in some activities, some employees are not affected by the austerity because they are matched 100% by the federal. Some of them are matched 50%. Some of them are matched, I think, 7.5%, and some of them are matched 20%. So, for example, under the activity of the Homeland Security, some of those employees are funded 20%
general fund,
and 20% federal, then 80% general fund. So in that case, the 12.5% is not applicable for this employee because it's 100% funded. You know what I'm saying? No, 80% general fund, 20% federal. So if you add the two of them together, we got 100%. So they are not actually on austerity because they're paid 100% of the time, right? So in all of these activities that are in the Schedule A, not all of those employees fall under austerity because some of them are funded by the federal fund.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's pretty clear, very consistent as what the legal counsel was alluding to earlier with regards to the Planning and Budgeting Act and Dave's articulation on the spreadsheet. I think the next question is: do we have any communication from the administration with whether or not there's a what that would trigger us to even consider an amendment?
Thank you, Senator Hofschneider. And before I entertain that question, that is a good question. And thank you, Dave. I believe that all of us are fully aware that we received a communication regarding the lifting of the austerity of 10 hours and restoring it back to 80. And it's very clear what the statute calls with respect to anything in excess or less of 200,000, that particular communication must be communicated to the legislature 15 calendar days once those resources have been identified. I think the legal question that I'm going to put out right now is, has there been anything effectuated before, and now we're talking about it now, with respect to a possibility of the governor calling on the legislature to revise the FY25 budget? And where does the body here, in particular the Senate, if we were to entertain such change after the fact, where does that put us legally? And is there any provision, obviously, clearly there could be already a violation of law here under the particular statute. But is there anything also, Council, under the Budgeting Act, if such expenditure of public funds beyond the ceiling of what is approved by the legislature with respect to FY 2025, what would be that penalty? And what are the causes of such should the legislative body act after the fact? In the legal sense, where does that put us?
I think there may be a penalty under the statute for over expenditure of public funds, but I need time to look at it. I don't have it off the top of my head.
Okay, under Section 700 of the Budgeting Act. I'll recognize Senator Cruz while Council looks for that.
Thank you, Madam President. Dave, thank you for being here to answer concern and questions regarding you mentioned about not balanced budget if they add additional that is not in the 2025 budget. I want to clarify this. The ARPA that was taken away from the judicial and the LB, is that part of the 2025 allocation appropriation? Because if yes, if it's part of that, then it will not balance if that's taken out from the from the LB. It's no longer the same amount that we passed this last 2025 budget.
Senator, to respond to your inquiry, it's not part of FY 2025 budget because that's ARPA funds, and we're dealing here with the general fund. It's not.
So it's not a part of the 2025.
Right. Right.
And just to clarify whether it's part, because if it's part, then it's also it's not balanced budget if it's part of the.
The only way that it would be part of the FY 2025 budget, if when we look at the resources, the estimated resources that it included, if they include resources from ARPA funds, then in that way we would consider it part of the FY 2025 budget. But when you look at the individual resources of approximately $158.6 million, it doesn't show any funding or any source coming from ARPA funds. And that's my response to you.
Thank you. So can you elaborate the request that I asked you to inquire from Department of Finance in regards to ARPA fund that is submitted to the Senate by former Governor Torres, whether or not, based on their guidelines, the Department of Finance, whether or not that funding can lapse anytime the governor requested to remove, or there is a provision that the money that was given to each individual here, the Senate has the full expenditure authority other than anybody else that they can take away that ARPA funds. I just want to hear from you and that the members know what your findings are.
Sure. Thank you, Senator Cruz. I sent an email to the Secretary of Finance requesting for the terms and conditions of the usage of ARPA funds. The fiscal analyst, Tomasa Naharaha, emailed me the terms and conditions of the ARPA funds. When I reviewed that agreement, it put certain conditions to the Secretary of Finance as to how the funds of the ARPA should be used, under what types of category. The category includes the funds could be used for small business, small business, household, hospitality industry, such as travel, tour, and also for public emergency health, and also for loss of revenue. for the provision of the government services. Those are the categories where the ARPA funds could be used. Now, under Section 602C of the Social Security Act, specifies also the same usage for the ARPA funds. Now, if in FY 2022, Public Law, I think 22-08, that's the Budgeting Act of FY 2022, where $175 million of ARPA funds were appropriated, right, by the legislature, of which approximately $585,000 was allocated to the members' account. And for the Senate side, each would have received about $65,000 each. Now, according to the terms and conditions of that ARPA agreement, the ARPA funds has no fiscal limitation. For example, the funds for FY 2022 of $585,000 for each member would receive $65,000. The funds, if you don't use it for the entire fiscal year of that 2022, the remaining funds will then carry forward to the next fiscal year. And the expenditure authority for each of those funds under the Senate allocation, to be specific, under this situation, is the member that is going to be receiving that fund. That's the expenditure authority who's authorized to spend and use the funds, you know. No one should be authorized to take the funds away from a member because under the U.S. Treasury plan, the ARPA funds allocated to the CNMI had already been approved by the U.S. Treasury rules and regulation, and any deviation from the spending plan that is approved by the U.S. Treasury, you know, without the Treasury's approval, is a violation, I think, on the federal law. So I'm saying right now that there's no way that your funds should be removed without the authority, expenditure authority, in your case, Santa Cruz, without your approval. And that's my position there, Mr. Senator.
Thank you.
So I think that's an interesting case. Excuse me. So that is the Senate's fiscal analyst saying right there, giving an opinion, not just like the facts, but as he understands it. He's saying that none of that stuff should have happened. None of the stuff should have been removed or anything like that. And so that's an interesting thing. And that could go to a lot of things because with regards to the how the ARPA was distributed initially, again, they all had to get all that stuff approved. Most of it, anyway. We're not talking Bush stuff yet. But let's hear a little bit more from Senator Cruz.
I want to ask the council's opinion on that, whether that's correct, because I remember that there's no fiscal limitation on that, and I'm just wondering why somebody is using my authority to remove that, although it's our ARPA fund, but it's already appropriated by the legislature. If it's not appropriated by the legislature, I understand it can take that anytime, but we did appropriate that funding and it's part of that budget when we appropriate that, although it's not part of the general fund. And that's why I'm wondering why they're utilizing or they're using that
now, is that going to be an on the spot
that part
assessment?
of the statute that if it lapses and you don't obligate it, it's taken away.
All right, so that's going to be the thing. Is the legal counsel going to give an on-the-spot assessment, or are they going to have to look up the rules on that? Let's see what they have to say.
So, my case, I did obligate it, and it's taken away. I want to ask your opinion now. Is that legal or not?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was only one time that we actually appropriated ARPA funds. It may have been 3 years ago or three fiscal years ago. I was discussing this with Councilor Villagomez, and that was the only time ARPA funds is under the expenditure authority of the state, the governor, which is the governor. I know the legislature tried to go the route of appropriating those, but it never went through. So if we look at the LB, I think the director was assured that he has operational funds. But after we passed the budget, we ended up with zero operation funds because it was completely ARPA. And that's, to me, I guess it's under the authority and jurisdiction of the governor.
Because I understand, but the first that they gave us, we did appropriate that one because he gave us the ARPA spending plan, and it's included no funding to a member of the legislature. I'm not talking about the one that he.
It was 2024.
Yeah, I'm talking about the first time that he submitted, because some of those funds are not being used yet and still there.
Yeah,
but it's already been appropriated.
Even for 2024, I don't remember. And Dave can correct me that we appropriated ARPA funds for 2024. No.
Senator, if I may.
Okay, well, but we'll continue to.
Point of clarification.
To
I think maybe council and the fiscal analyst can look at that. I forget which fiscal year it was, but that was where we had the three schedules: the A plus B equals C. If I'm not mistaken, he might have vetoed the portion where he has to follow Schedule B, which is ARPA. But maybe that's something that you guys can look into to see if that was set in stone through the Budget Act, or if the governor at the time vetoed that portion. Because had we left it as it was, we would have had that ARPA portion that would have stayed with each member, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me clarify. I can respond back to you, Senator Manglonian, that you look at the FY 2022 Budgeting Act, which is Public Law 22-08. There were some provisions there that were dismissed or vetoed by the governor, and that's one of the sections there that you're talking about. I think it's on section 700 and 800. And the governor vetoed that because he doesn't want anybody to reallocate ARPA funds, because the ARPA funds had already been, the spending plan of the ARPA funds had already been approved by the U.S. Treasury. So that would jeopardize the agreement with the U.S. Treasury. And that was the reason for vetoing that section of the ARPA funds. But the expenditure authority for the funds allocated to the members were still there. And so that each member who's allocated of approximately, 65,000 each is responsible for the expenditures and usage of the ARPA funds. And then, Councilor Bermudez, I would like to correct my statement that also in FY 2023, there was also an ARPA appropriation of approximately 32 million. Then it was revised down to about 16 million. Remember that now, I just remember that. So there were only 2 fiscal years that ARPA funds were appropriated by the legislature, 2022 and 2023. Thank you.
But I don't think it was so much an appropriation. I think, I'm not sure if it's within the veto message where they kind of consider it as for informational purposes only, as opposed to an actual an appropriation. So I think that's something we'll have to look into again.
Thank you, members. Before I recognize Senator Jude, just to, since we're talking about some legality here, Council, perhaps maybe this is a question. So if I'm not mistaken, the appropriation on ARPA, I believe, happened on FY22 budget. And so considering that ARPA funds are supposed to be obligated up to this year, end of this year, December 31st, 2024, must be spent, fully spent by December 31st, 2026. My legal question on that particular concern that Senator Cruz is raising with the appropriations to Senate members and how their ARPA funding are being swept away and not being given back to them to spend or even obligate up to the end of December of this year and then spend it all in December of 2026. Does that particular time period, that's my question, apply to FY22 appropriation of those funds to the senators in question right now? I now recognize Senator Jude Hoff-Schneider.
Thank you, Madam President. And I think if respectfully asked that we get a detailed explanation, as far as the question being posed by the senators, primarily about the authority of the ARPA for the legislature, for that matter. A good written legal opinion from the legal counsel would be very helpful, because this is a very important discussion being raised by members for that matter. In addition to, it's troubling that we're talking about this, and in fact, one of the first branch of government is crippled in operations because of this exercise that was unilaterally made. I'm referring to what transpired with the AOB. And then the generosity of a senatorial district appropriated the local funds to help. But once you appropriate the local funds and you put in a CNMI branch of government, it becomes a general fund. Unless speaking out of terms here, Council, I kind of anticipated this when I saw that there's going to be an issue. Because now some delegation members have businesses in the respective delegation islands, but we were given advice that it's not permissible, although it's there. We're not asking to go to Florida or Nebraska for a legislative conference. We're performing our duties as a delegation to entertain a important piece of legislation. So this is the reason why it's important that in the midst of all these things, it's important that we discuss the FY 2025 budget, and really, if there's enough money to restore 80 hours, at least restore the 200,000 that you took from the LB, so that the delegation doesn't have to appropriate local funds to a CNMI branch of government. So this is a bad precedent, Madam Press, to have a local delegation appropriate for and I hope that it doesn't happen again in the next coming budget cycle, because now I was tasked by the chairman of the delegation to do a hearing. Now I have to reconsider if I'm going to still do it, because the staff that being requested to assist or I guess cannot travel. I wish we can drive to Tinian, so we don't need to request for travel. So we need to look at the issue from a bird's eye view, that once you appropriate a funds that was approved by the governor into a CNMI legislative CNMI branch, then it becomes the property of the branch. And there's senatorial districts that have businesses to do in their respective, same as the Saipan delegation when they do their hearing here. It's the same concept. But unfortunately, we have to fly. And we need to be afforded that same service.
I don't know. Hold on. Let's pause on that just for a second. When the delegations meet and they have to do all that stuff, that's the question is, we're able to do everything virtually now, right? We're covering this all digitally. We're throwing this all digitally. We got phone calls, we got video calls and all that other stuff. Do they have to travel? Like some things, yes. The whole delegation, does everyone need to be there for everywhere? I don't know. It's not necessarily just on this topic, right? I mean, just like not the whole thing about the ARPA distribution and all that other stuff. But I think the amount of money that we end up paying for travel ends up costing us a little bit, for sure. In fact, I think that us being able to rein in our travel all the way around for the CNMI government is going to be a big deal. And that's some of the stuff that we were talking to Delegate-elect King Hines about. You know, when we were talking about trying to, streamline the government, she's like, well, it's like the thing that nobody wants to talk about, that nobody wants to deal with, because we're going to have to reel in all these jobs. And our question was, can we do it without losing jobs? Because I think we can. I think we could really address streamlining our budget and our expenses without losing any jobs. And that's the thing that people seem to be somewhat reluctant to deal with. Now, I will say, though, I think you can get a lot more done with people face to face, no doubt about it. But I don't think that I'm going to be met with a lot of people that disagree with the fact that I think our travel is a little out of hand. We do a lot of stuff. Some things you absolutely have to, and some things it's better. Like if they have like a big training seminar or stuff like that, you're going to get a lot more if you're there as opposed to getting some online course. But when it comes to like reviewing budgets and stuff like that, you can't do that through emails and through like video conferences and all that. I think you absolutely can. So that's just a thought. Hey, just checking in the comments over there, and YouTube says, no need to spend money and the government doesn't have for travel. These days you have Zoom, Google Meets. Come on, folks. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm on the same page. It's in our YouTube channel. Thanks, Sean. I'm with you 100%. Again, the main thing is we could streamline our expenses without cutting positions. Like, I know that seems like the easy thing. Oh, our government's so bloated. We got to get rid of all these people, and everyone freaks out. Right, I get it. But yes, the government's bloated. But first thing you could do is cut back on those expenses, right? And we've talked about it a lot, so I'm not going to beat that horse yet. But there's so many things that we could do, so many that has to be the first thing. So you can't wait until somebody reaches out saying, hey, I'm going to appoint you for something. You got to be thinking about this ahead of time. And the folks who are there in those agencies should all be tasked. It should be a task that's driven from the executive branch. Start there and move on. Say, look, all the people, and that's where it's an easy thing to start with, because the governor could easily say, all you departments of everybody, secretaries of everything, start with the cabinet. I need to know where you can cut 10% of your budget tomorrow. Or, I'm giving you a week. I need to know where you can cut 10% of your budget. That doesn't include people. Make them find it. And if they can't find it, tell them, all right, thanks for your service to the government. You serve at the pleasure of me, and good luck with your next thing. Not being a jerk, but just saying, if you can't get this done, if you can't find 10% of fat off of your budget, I got the wrong guy working there. Sorry, or the wrong lady working there. Give me 10% off of your budget to every department. Guaranteed. And you put that on the people you appointed. Right? Because you can directly tell them that they got to do that. It's a make or break. So that they come back to their respective departments and their staff that they're overseeing as the appointees. You guys got to find it. You got to find it. This is your task. This is what you need to do. And if they can't do it, then they can wield their respective hammers on those people. But again, give me a 10% across the board. Boom. Give me 10% how we could save on DPL. 10% how we could save on, be more efficient in what we do. But stuff that's actually attainable, not stuff that we can do by the fiscal year 2030. What can we do today? Boom. And also ask for recommendations and have all those guys. That's it. and set them up with a real deal. So now that's not going to solve all the problems for the whole Commonwealth, but that's where you can start, where it's actual doable, where you can have a deliverable from folks who can put that stuff out there. It's a real mandate from the governor and getting real progress from the folks who are serving. And that's it. There's so many different things. Everyone's got to do their jobs and all that other stuff. But every one of these departments has fiscal analysts. They've got accountants and all that other stuff. Where can we trim the fat? You know, that's not people and not reducing their salaries. They're out there. You're not looking hard enough. It's like we're here as a reporter working for a newspaper. There's no story. If there's no story, it's because you're not doing your job. You're not going out there to find it. You didn't ask. There's always news happening. There's always a story out there. You just need to do it. Same thing for this. You can't tell me that all of these departments are stripped to the bone when it comes to their expenses. It's not true. They're definitely out there. Shine says there's former politicians who donated their salaries, don't take pay raises, etc., to help lessen the economic burden. Yeah, that's true. Now, a lot of that, though, to be fair, and that is awesome. Some of those folks, though, are retirees who, if the salary would be less than what they would receive for their retirement, and so they'd rather keep the higher level of their salary because you can't get both. Right, that double dipping. You can't receive your CNMI government pension and get paid a CNMI government salary at the same time. They just don't do that. But there are folks who do that, and that is great. But that would be a good place to start. But I mean, like I've got my thing. It starts with transportation. It starts with again some of these food things, and I appreciate food. I love it. And this is not taking shots, but when you say that there's no way that you could start paying attention, and but the thing is, it's going to be a lot of little things that add up. It might not be that one thing like I found the one thing that's going to work for everything. No, you're going to have to look at all of it because all those little things do add up. I'm telling you, like all the big fancy lunches for board meetings, for public agencies, they all have food, all of them. Talking the utilities, talking CPA, talking the CUC. Like these guys, a lot of food. They spend a lot of money. All that stuff's there. None of those are under the governor's office, though. So, except for the head of PSS, right? I think that's who gets appointed by the gov. But anyway, all these things are things they could save money on and not spend frivolously on. Now, there are people who are going to swear, hey, we are doing it as best as we can. I bet you are. But there's definitely 10% in every organization where it can get cut. And you got to identify it. And you don't have to have this big study and all this other stuff. There is stuff right now. You sit down with those accountants, they'll know exactly where all the beans are being put. And you can do that in every single department. And guaranteed someone's going to be, Brad, you're full of it. You know what? Yeah, I am. But the truth is that there is a lot of fat that you can trim from all these things that do not involve cutting jobs. That's that third rail, as they call it, right? The electrified rail with the subway system that zaps people. That's what you don't want to touch. Nobody wants to cut the jobs because it's like political death. I get it. It's there. It's definitely there. All right. So anyway, hey, it's 9 o'clock. What we're going to do instead of jump on that all day, we're going to throw to the Associated Press. We're going to get you the 9 o'clock update from AP because we do that all the time. The updates on the hour, every hour. And let me just refresh. And I bet it's here. Magic. It's there. So let's get you the latest update that's going on there. And then we'll come back. We also have the sports update. And that's just about it. I mean, we've got some stuff to go about. We talked about just about everything. And I'm just scrolling through real quick and just looking to see if there's anything that we missed. Because if we want to come back to this, there's about 20 minutes left in that Senate hearing stuff. But we definitely want to get to the Associated Press updates and everything so we can come back to it. So, let's take a quick commercial and talk about some of the love for some of our sponsors. And we will move on from there. 'Tis the season for savings at AK Toyota. This season finale is here, and you can get up to $5,000 cash back on the all-new Toyota Tacoma, or get up to $2,000 cash back on your all-new Toyota Corolla. And you can use that cash any way you want. But you've got to act fast because these deals end on December 31st. Get pre-approved at aksaipan.com. Some conditions apply. Come to our new dealership on Middle Road in Puerto Rico for more details. AK Toyota, here for Saipan, here for life.
This Christmas, get the deal even Santa wouldn't be able to resist. Bring home a free smartwatch or other accessories from IT&E when you get a new phone in December. Plus, enjoy a huge discount on infinite data to keep you connected all year long. Dash in before the 22nd for the chance to win $2,000 in cash and weekly prizes. Visit ite.net for details. IT&E, connections that matter.
Persistence to build, be the inspiration they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book. We be a lottie where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence to build, be the inspiration they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book.
I used to think everything was as easy as 1, 2, 3, but now it's as easy as 4, 5, 6. That's because Paradise Dental has the CNMI's most affordable dental coverage starting at just $4 per paycheck. You heard that right. Just $4 per paycheck for singles, $5 per paycheck for couples, and just $6 per paycheck for family coverage. That'll include Tito, Jermaine, Janet, and LaToya too. Jamon! At Paradise Dental, I love the way they make me feel. So come on down to Paradise Dental today and start smiling back at the man in the mirror, or give them a call at 670-235-4040. That's 235-4040. Nobody can beat it.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Congressional leaders announced agreement last night on a stopgap spending bill to keep the government funded into March. But Sagar Magani reports that's apparently collapsed after President-elect Trump abruptly rejected the bipartisan deal this afternoon.
Trump is telling House Speaker Mike Johnson and the GOP to essentially renegotiate a new deal before Friday's deadline to keep the government open. In a statement, Trump and VP-elect J.D. Vance say Republicans must get smart and tough. Trump is making an almost unrealistic proposal to pair the continuation of government funding with a much more controversial provision to boost America's debt limit, something the GOP routinely rejects. Hours earlier, Senate Democratic Chief Chuck Schumer had hailed the funding deal.
We can't have last-minute delays or grandstanding.
But many Republicans had been waiting on Trump to signal how they should vote. On a massive deal, rank-and-file GOP lawmakers blasted for its increased spending. Sagar Magani, Washington.
The Federal Reserve has cut its key interest rate by a quarter point, its third cut this year, but it's also signaling it expects to reduce rates more slowly next year than it previously envisioned. Chair Jerome Powell.
The slower pace of cuts for next year really reflects both the higher inflation readings we've had this year and the expectation that inflation will be higher.
Stocks plunged on the news, the Dow shedding more than 1,100 points. Russia says it's detained a suspect in yesterday's bombing in Moscow that killed a senior general and his assistant. Russia's Federal Security Service says the man was recruited by Ukraine's security service and promised $100,000. The Israeli military today ordered Palestinians to evacuate another section of central Gaza ahead of an offensive on a refugee camp. Meantime, talks on a ceasefire hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas continue. This is AP News. Seth Sutel now with more on Wall Street's reaction to the Fed signals in the AP Markets Report.
Wall Street had its second worst loss of the year after the Federal Reserve signaled it may deliver fewer interest rate cuts next year than previously thought. The S&P 500 dropped 2.9% Wednesday, pulling further below the all-time high it set a couple of weeks ago. The Dow Jones Industrial Average sank 1,123 points. It's about 2.6%. The Nasdaq Composite dropped 3.6%. Fed officials released projections showing their penciling in just 2 cuts to interest rates next year instead of the 4 they were projecting a few months ago. Treasury yields ramped higher in the bond market. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note rose to 4.51%. Seth Sutel, New York.
And the Supreme Court will hear arguments next month over the constitutionality of the federal law that could ban TikTok in the U.S. if its Chinese parent company doesn't sell it. Arguments set for January 10th. I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
All right, NMI, we are back. Good morning, Marianas. It's 9:13 in the morning here on Thursday, and we just got done talking about all kinds of stuff. A lot of it was about the budget, about the Senate, and more, and well, we definitely have more of that. We got sports updates coming your way as well. We have the update from the Associated Press for sports. Hey, that's pretty cool. We do have that lined up, and then we're going to talk a little bit more. I think we can finish talking about this budget stuff, but it's a real big deal. I look forward to hearing what the administration has to say about it, because I think getting their updates from, hearing their side of it. Again, there's 2 sides to every pancake, right? I'm sure we're going to hear something along the lines of, hey, we don't just do this stuff. Like, we've checked all this stuff out, right? Oh, Vincent, you're asking, Vincent Raymond, you're asking about the drone stuff. Let me see if I can get something on that for you. Because, somebody asked me about that yesterday, last night. They're like, hey, is that all that stuff about the drones? Is that true? I'm like, yeah, that is a big, big topic with the drones right now in the mainland. Now, what's the story behind it? We had that one update, and we were talking with Ray, who's like, hey, let's see if I could find something about drones here. It might be under the U.S. section for the Associated Press. And it shouldn't be too far away because it's been one of the big things. How about drone? Let's find that. DRONE. Kapow. Okay, most of these are from yesterday. Drone detectors in New Jersey have found little or no evidence of wrongdoing, says the governor. Is that a drone or a plane? They explain all these differences. Here's a bunch of stuff about the drones in Ukraine and Russia. The lawmakers on the Hill wanting more answers about that. So basically not a whole lot here. I bet there's going to be all kinds of crazy stuff if I just do a random U.S. drones in the United States. Let's just see what happens like that. I have heard this a lot. All right, here's all these things that pop up about the mystery drones and all these different sightings. I'm just looking for something from a regular news source, not something like Jim's crazy news about drones. Like, I don't know if I want this. I don't buy it. This is all that conspiracy kind of stuff. Here's foreign press reporting on it, and DW, which is like Deutsche World. So this is like the German news. They actually have a lot of good stuff. But here's let's reject that. Let's hear what they have to say about it. See if I can't get this for you. This is how
for days,
other nations
drone
are reporting.
sightings have been reported across the state of New Jersey.
Okay, well, I'm going to maximize that and I'm going to share it for you so you guys can see it. It's just interesting to see how people in other countries are talking about things that are happening in the United States.
For days, drone sightings have been reported across the state of New Jersey and even New York.
You got several over here now that are flying around. 2 there are flying, one's hovering.
This New Jersey resident claims to have filmed multiple drones in the air.
And with the naked eye, the video doesn't really...
Drones in the air.
And with the naked eye, the video doesn't really do justice. But when you look at what I'm seeing with the naked eye, you can see it's not a normal aircraft. And we don't have this much, traffic, usually on any given night in this area.
Some are startled by what they are seeing and wondering what's going on.
And no, it doesn't look anything like a plane. It's way too big and it's way too low in the sky and it's the middle of the night. Then I think maybe it's a helicopter. No, it's not a helicopter. Then suddenly it gets closer and it's hovering right over the trees and it looks like, I guess, an enormous drone. I'm not even sure what it, I've never seen anything like it. It's just a drone on steroids.
The FBI is among several agencies investigating these drone sightings. Federal investigators say most of them have involved manned aircraft and don't believe there is a threat. But that has not stopped the demand for clear answers.
So that's how the German news is reporting on what's going on in the U.S. I know BBC's got something on it as well. And let's see. But it's interesting. Like that's people are talking about this, and it's not popping up in different countries, although it is popping up all over the United States. I heard President-elect Trump talking about it, saying that he's like, the government's well aware of what it is. For some reason, they won't share it with us, and so not sure what that's all about. When they're gonna, or if they're gonna tell us what it's about. But again, one of those things that we talked about with Ray yesterday, as he was listening to that InfoWars guy, right? That conspiracy kind of stuff. He's like, they probably lost the nuke and they've got detection systems looking for them and everything. I'm like, all right, let's bump the brakes a little bit on that stuff. Not sure exactly what it is. Maybe they're looking for bad guys. Who knows what they're doing? I don't know. But the good thing is, no matter what, I don't live in New Jersey. I think that's the big takeaway from all of this. We can all be happy that we live here instead of New Jersey. I think Scotty Dottino would agree. It's better that we're luckier living here than if we were living in Jersey. I think it's fair. They might have some pretty good pizza because of the water over there on the East Coast, but I'll take my godfathers and put that up against that stuff any day. I'm happier to live here, for sure. No doubt about it. All right. Do we want to get the last 20 minutes on that program? Let's see. I'm just going to close out a couple things here. This is a good thing for us. So the PAC Act, if you're not familiar with the PAC Act, this is about providing generations of veterans and their survivors with health care and benefits that they've earned and deserve. A lot of folks who had exposure. And hold on, let me open this up a little bit. It helps folks who had exposure to different things. Here it is. One second. The name of the law is the Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson Honoring Our Promises to Address Comprehensive Toxics Act, the PACT Act. It expands and extends eligibility for VA healthcare for veterans with toxic exposures and veterans of the Vietnam, Gulf War, and post 9/11 eras. It adds 20 plus more presumptive conditions for burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic exposures. It adds more presumptive exposure locations for Agent Orange and radiation. It requires VA to provide a toxic exposure screening to every veteran enrolled in VA healthcare. It also helps us improve the staff education and treatment related to toxic exposures. And this is something, if you're a veteran or a survivor, you can file your claims now with the VA. Now, what is this all about? So you can actually, if you're a veteran or if you know a veteran, you're a family of a veteran, this is important because there's something coming up in the next month or in the next couple of weeks for folks to be able to register for this. So what does it mean to have presumptive condition of exposure? And what I thought it was really interesting is when I listened to this, right? So check this out. You're eligible for VA healthcare under the PACT Act. First, you got to enroll. You don't need to apply for disability benefits first. If you meet basic service and discharge requirements, and any of these descriptions are true for you. 1, you served in Vietnam War, the Gulf War, Iraq, Afghanistan, or any other combat zone after 9/11, or you deployed in support of the global war on terror, or you were exposed to toxins or other hazards during military service at home or abroad. This is really interesting. This is important stuff to know, right? Because those aren't and. They're all followed by ors. And they're really expanding this to folks like me. Like, this is something I'm eligible for. And I thought I missed the window, but it's open again for you to apply for this stuff. Because when I deployed over there and into the sandbox the first time around, I mean, there was all kinds of stuff. And now they're giving you a presumptive positive for exposure. I'll tell you what, like when we came back from Southwest Asia, they told us, hey, don't donate blood. You can't do it. Like, holy crap, what's going on? We can't donate blood because we're not sure what happened, what you've been exposed to. So check this out. Specific toxins and hazards include burn pits. Specific toxins and hazards include burn pits, sand and dust, particulates, oil well or sulfur fires, chemicals, radiation, warfare agents, depleted uranium, herbicides, and other occupational hazards. I'll tell you what, so many people came back all jacked up, and they called it Gulf War syndrome. And they fought giving benefits to folks who served over there. People who were suffering all kinds of debilitating illnesses. They said no, because they couldn't pay for it, or they didn't want to pay for it, and it was really upsetting. See a lot of folks come back and not get coverage. It says, hey, even if none of these descriptions are true for you, you may still be eligible for VA healthcare based on your service. There's a whole bunch of eligibility requirements. I'm going to put this link in the old tab. And you guys, I'm telling you, with all the veterans that we have here, you got to get this to your friends or family who are veterans, because these are benefits that they can get. And tell them to get off their butts and do something about it. Really, a lot of them let this thing slide, or they miss it. They're like, I was gonna, but I didn't. Like this one's mine, the Gulf War era eligibility. How do I know if I have presumptive exposure to burn pits? Here you go. So that means me for sure. On or after August 2nd, 1990 in any of these locations. Bahrain, yes. Iraq, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi, Somalia, UAE, and the airspace above them. So that means I've got a presumption of exposure, which means I'm going to end up getting covered under this. And it says it right here. You are eligible to enroll now without needing to apply for disability first, which I've already got, if you meet the basic service and discharge requirements that any of these descriptions are true for you. There it is. You served on or after August 2nd, 1990 in any of these locations. Yes. You deployed in support of any of these. Enduring Freedom, Freedom Sentinel, Iraq Freedom, New Dawn, Inherent Resolve, Support Mission, Resolute Support Mission. And it's not all of them. All you have to do is meet any of these to be eligible. Not all of them. And I was only talking about old guys like me. If you served on or after September 11th of 2001, you went to Afghan, Djibouti, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Uzbekistan, Yemen, any other country determined relevant by the VA or the airspace above them. Guys, send that link to your veteran friends. All of them. Just about all your veteran friends have been in one of these places. My age and younger have been in probably one of these places. That doesn't even include the Vietnam era guys, right? Those guys should know about this, and if they don't, tell them to. Especially because it's opening back up. This is important stuff. This could be a real game changer for people with their benefits. I'm going to put this other number in there too. I'm going to put this in the comments for you. Kapow. Look, you can get enrolled in this. And there's a whole lot of other community outreach stuff going on. And you can get more stuff to find out what's going on here in the Pacific. You can call them 1-800-MY-VA-411. That's like My Veterans Affairs. The information number in the States is 411, right? So it's 1-800-698-2411. But use that website. Use that link. Find out more about it. Because there's going to be an online thing right there. There's going to be a registration and community call event at the Multi-Purpose Center here in Saipan. It's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, January 8th, 9th, and 10th. The folks over at the VA in Honolulu are letting us know about that now. All right. Oh, what happened to comments? Let's refresh it. Somehow they disappeared. There we go. This is, you guys need this. I'm telling you. Veterans, go there. If you've got work scheduled that day, go. It's from 12 to 4 on Wednesday, January 8th. It's from 8 to 4 on Thursday and 8 to 4 on Friday. You can find a window in there to get down there. You can find a window in there to get your friends and family down there. It's important. You can get some benefits. Get some money. We get you some health care. It's crazy that it took all these years to let us know about that. Shine says, some of us took mandatory vaccinations for pre-deployment and for compliance. Oh, dude, I know. Gamma globin shots. Oh, I can still feel that pain in the old butt cheek. They have to warm it up. Then you got to rub it in a little bit to help take some of the sting off of that one. That one is not fun. Walking through the lines, getting the shots. Gamma globin was the worst. Just a funny conversation, way off topic, make you guys laugh. Got a message from my wife about conversations in the car going to school. Our son says, I can't believe there was a time I didn't know the difference between distance and deliverance. And Leilani says, once I forgot how to spell cat. These are my kids. Guess which one takes after me more and which one takes after Kathy. All right, guys. I'll tell you what. I do have the latest sports update from Associated Press that we'll get to. I'll throw that your way. But that's pretty much I think for today. I think we kind of beat everything down about as far as we can. I'm telling you, I encourage all of you guys, get out there and check out that PAC deck information. You do not want to miss out on this. This is a great opportunity for us, for folks here in the CNMI to get eligible for this, or you're already eligible. It would just get you the coverage that you've earned while you're in service, and really, it's about our federal government taking care of us for putting us in harm's way, right? I mean, that's what we signed up for, right? We're not complaining. That's it. But now they're going to take care of us, so let's let them do it. Get them out there. Get your friends and family out there to register for that. We got all the information that you're going to need is right there in the comment section, and you can check it out. Hey, Dee Dee, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you, too. Thank you. Let me scroll up. Did I miss anybody else who was popping in? Oh, that's it. All right, so that's good. Anyway, let's get you the AP Sports, and then we're going to call it a day, folks, because I got some work to do. Hey, one other cool thing, though, I will say, is that the graduation for NM Tech's latest round of grads is today, and it's going to be at the Roundhouse in Garapan. We're going to be there to help celebrate it with them. I'm so excited for it. The folks at NM Tech do such a great job for the community, and for all the folks who graduate from there, we couldn't be prouder. So we're going to be there with you today and looking forward to it. So you guys have a great day. Here's the latest update from the Associated Press Sports. And then after that, we're out of here. So if you got any questions, comments, drop us a line, send us a message. And other than that, we'll see you guys soon. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in so far today.
AP Sports, I'm Gethin Coolbaugh. A big night for the Greek Freak helped the Bucks win the NBA's second in-season tournament. Correspondent Bruce Morton reports,
the Bucks are the 2024 NBA Cup champs. Milwaukee pulled away in the second half to defeat Oklahoma City 97-81. Giannis Antetokounmpo shined with 26 points and 19 rebounds, both game highs.
Winning feels good, playing big games feels good when you're able to come to the game and execute your game plan, and then the outcome is exactly what you want it to be.
Milwaukee went on a 17-2 spurt, good for an 86-66 lead with 9:32 to go. The Thunder didn't help themselves by going 5 for 32 from beyond the arc. Speaking of Bucks, for winning the cup, each Milwaukee player takes home just over $500,000.
The NBA announced this season's All-Star Game in San Francisco is going to be a 4-team, 3-game, one-night tournament featuring 3 teams of 8 All-Stars apiece and a 4th team being the winner of the Rising Stars Challenge, playing to 40 points. College basketball, the number 1 team in the country, made easy work of its latest non-conference foe. Correspondent Jane Ferry has more.
Top-ranked Tennessee made it 11 straight wins to open the season, blowing out Western Carolina 84-36. Zakai Siegler came within 1 assist of a triple-double, providing 10 points and 10 rebounds, but shooting 2 for 13. Tennessee coach Rick Barnes.
Obviously wants to make a shot and all that, but he's almost 1 assist away from a triple-double. Just competitive like he always is, and pressing a little bit offensively, but he'll work that out.
Chaz Lanier paced the Vols with 19 points, and the Tennessee bench provided 37 points.
Second-ranked Auburn also won in a blowout, 100-59 against Georgia State. Cooper Flagg led the way in an easy win for 5th-ranked Duke. Here's correspondent Adam Spillane.
Flagg scored 24 points as 5th-ranked Duke improved to 9-2 with a 68-47 win over George Mason. Flagg shot just 7 of 20 from the field, but he made all 8 of his free throws while adding 9 rebounds and 4 assists. Duke head coach John Shire.
I thought Coop was really just aggressive, putting pressure on the defense. And for him, I think for any young guys, you get caught up in percentages, numbers sometimes. And for him, he just was a warrior out there.
And number 7 Florida held off North Carolina 90-84 behind 22 points from Will Richard. More on the latest in sports, including scores from the ice and MLB and NFL news, coming up next. In the NHL, the Hurricanes stormed past the Islanders in Raleigh. Correspondent Dennis Cox has the details.
Carolina goalie Pyotr Kochetkov made 32 saves in net to lead the Hurricanes to a 4-0 shutout win over the New York Islanders. Kochetkov said he didn't focus on the shutout during the game.
I have a couple moments this season when I think about shutouts, next shot, goal. Today I just want stay in net. I want just win. I know think about shutout.
Carolina opened the scoring in the first period on the power play as Andrei Svechnikov scored his 12th of the year. Less than 3 minutes later, Jordan Martinook scored his 8th to make it 2-0. In the second, Carolina would get goals from Tyson Jost and Sebastian Aho to extend their lead to 4-0.
The Blackhawks used a late rally to upend the Capitals. Here's correspondent David Schuster.
Ryan Donato's goal with just over 2 minutes left was the game winner as the Blackhawks rallied from a 2-0 deficit to beat the Capitals 3-2.
It's great because, we've been in the spots where we've been up a couple goals and, end up losing. So it feels good to kind of be on the other side of things and knowing that, whatever the score is, being down a couple goals and being able to battle back just goes to show we can come back in games like that.
Trailing 2-0 entering the third period, the Hawks got goals from Ilya Mikheyev and TJ Brody before Donato bullied his way to the net and stuffed in the game winner.
Andre Palat scored for the 3rd time in 4 games, and Jack Hughes had a pair of assists as the Devils tuned up the Blues 4-1. Patrick Laine's first hat trick with Montreal led the Canadiens in a 6-1 rout of the Sabres. The Bruins edged the Flames 4-3 on David Pasternak's overtime winner. Ricard Raquel's overtime winner helped the Penguins dethrone the Kings 3-2. The Lightning defeated the Blue Jackets 5-3. The Predators blanked the Rangers 2-0. The Senators shut out the Kraken 3-0, and the Jets rallied past the Sharks 4-3. In NFL news, the Falcons are benching veteran quarterback Kirk Cousins and turning to rookie Michael Penix Jr. against the Giants on Sunday. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes is preparing to play against the Texans on Saturday after sustaining a high ankle sprain against the Browns. The league suspended Raiders reserve defensive end Janarius Robinson for 3 games without pay for violating the league's substance abuse policy. And college football, Southern California wide receiver Zachariah Branch and his older brother Trojan safety Zion Branch have announced they are entering the transfer portal. Major League Baseball, former MVP outfielder Cody Bellinger has been acquired by the Yankees in a trade with the Cubs for right-hander Cody Poteet. The Pinellas County Commission approved its share of financing for a new $1.3 billion 30,000-seat raised ballpark in St. Petersburg. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh, AP Sports.
How do you not love that song? All right, you guys, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Be good.
So many things we got to discuss. Happy day, Tirawamian greetings. To Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news. From a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun. Oh. Good morning, Mariana.